401-6917.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Friday morning. Welcome to hour number 2 of Ocala Talks Friday. And for the last 12 weeks, but it's the last time they're going to be here this morning, unless we can get a big corporate sponsor. So if you're a big corporate sponsor out there and you want to sponsor one of the best and informative shows that we have here on WOCA, the Early Learning Coalition, Elizabeth Diola's in the studio with us. Elizabeth, good morning. Wait, hold on. There you go.
Good morning.
And you brought Chrissy Vickers, the Success by Six coordinator, and Jolynn Rathel. Did I say that right? Rathel. Well, that's close. Literacy outreach advocate. Yeah. And it's the last time I'm going to have you on studio unless we can find a big corporate sponsor. Are you listening out there, the big corporate relations of the world? Doug Cohn, you hear me? You hear me?
Hint, hint.
You hear me? Hint, hint. Tom Ingram, you hear me? Hint, hint.
If you love kids, sponsor us.
Yeah, if you love kids, sponsor the Early Learning Coalition because they do this out of love. They don't do it because they're making a whole lot of money. Trust me on that. They do this out of love. Yeah, it's a non-profit. Why, Elizabeth, let's start with you. Why did you and Roseanne think it was an important thing to do to bring the knowledge of the Early Learning Coalition and the tools that y'all offer parents? Why was that important for you to bring to the radio?
I am totally going to go Whitney Houston on this because the children are our future, and we have to give a good foundation. If we don't, then we will just see continuous chaos, and our children will grow up that way, and it makes for a better place for everybody.
I thought of you guys this morning. It wasn't something you did, but I thought about you guys when I saw it on the news. The Volusia County Sheriff's Department pulled a woman over yesterday because she didn't have her child restrained properly in her car. But instead of writing her a ticket, they knew that Walmart was offering something in Volusia County, so they had a deputy go to Walmart and bring her a child seat that they donated, and they put the kid in the child seat and showed her how to hook it in and everything. And I thought, well, the Early Learning Coalition in Marion County does that all the time.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're not pulling people over because we wouldn't be doing that.
Right. You're not pulling people over, but you're giving donated child care child restraints to child seats and all to people who may not be fortunate enough to be able to afford. And by the way, just the other day, I was in Walmart. We go to Walmart and do grocery shopping and everything. You got to walk by the children's department. I took a gander at what one of those chairs cost. Mm-hmm. This ain't a $20 purchase.
No, not that
far. So the fact that you've been able to get the word out that you offer that is paramount to what you wanted to accomplish here.
Absolutely. And Christy, do you want to talk about that? It's a great segue into our
Yes, most definitely.
car seat program.
Yes, so with our car seat program, we actually received an amazing grant from Toyota. It's the Buckle Up for Life grant. And so on this past fiscal year, we were able to give out 54 brand new convertible car seats, which are the ones that go from 5 pounds to 65 pounds.
So it grows with the child.
Yes, it grows with the child, as well as booster seats. They gave us about 22 booster seats. So we've been able to give all of those out. So it just shows how big of a need we do have in the community. As you were talking about the parent not having a car seat, I had to help a young lady install a car seat in her car because she actually thought that the seat she had was broken for her 11-month-old, and it was actually a high back booster. So she didn't even have the
She didn't have a car back. She didn't have the right seat.
She didn't even have the right seat. So we had to educate her on that as well. So
that once again is just, it's all about education, isn't it?
yes.
It's not, and if there's one thing I've taken from you guys coming in here and talking for 12 weeks, is that it's not just about educating the child. It's about educating the family on a whole. Jolynn, would you say that's a good call, that it's about educating the family as a unit, not just the child?
Absolutely. I mean, they go hand in hand. And, providing services for the families and for the children is so rewarding for everyone that works at the coalition, because we're able to help meet needs that otherwise they didn't know that existed or didn't have the means to purchase those items.
The literacy outreach program, that's one that I'm near and dear to me because it not only promotes reading for children, but it also brings family units together to read together, and it may actually help parents who reading isn't one of their strong suits get better at that as well. So again, we're educating the family, not just the child.
Absolutely. And while you're on that subject, the coalition has a little free library that is out front and also in our lobby. And we're excited. We're about to open our lobby doors next Tuesday, July 6th. We're really excited about that, to have the families be able to come in. But they are welcome to go into our little free library and choose books. We also have our literacy initiative called Read Aloud 15 Minutes. And we partner with businesses and organizations in the community to provide books. That means all the way from their lobbies, their waiting rooms. We also have medical providers that we give books to, and they hand those out at their well children visits. So it's all about getting books out. And in the last 5 years, Read Aloud has distributed over 78,000 books. That's just Read Aloud alone. Now, the coalition also has a community bookcase that they distribute books. And when we go to events, we're distributing books. So, literacy is so important, and to build that love of literacy, like you've mentioned in the past, you got to love what you're reading, right? That
100%.
way you'll continue that behavior if you love it.
But I remember as a kid, riff. Reading is fundamental.
That's another program.
And the reason riff was so important, and the reason I knew right away, is I had a teacher that explained it. She goes, the reading is important, because some kids stood up and goes, why is this important? We were in the third grade. He goes, why is this important? I'm bored with these stories. She goes, because it's not about the stories. It's about when you get your parents' age and you have to fill out documents and you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to be able to read to know where your name goes and where your address goes. And she told us at a very young age that even though what you're reading you enjoy or don't enjoy, the end game isn't just about reading the book. It's about creating an atmosphere where you're able to understand things the older you get that are going to have to be part of your day-to-day life. And sometimes I think we lose that reading is fundamental, not because it's a joy, although it is a joy. It's also fundamental because everything you do in life, you have to read.
Absolutely. And, we're proud to partner with the Kiwanis of Ocala with the Reading is Fundamental program. And so we're able, pre-pandemic, we were able to go out to the schools and distribute 3 times a year to grades pre-K through 4th grade. And so those children, again, may not have the means to build a home library, but because of that partnership with the Early Learning Coalition and Kiwanis, we're able to distribute those books and help them build their little library at home.
Elizabeth, was in the 12 weeks we've been doing this, was there one, if you thought about this real quick and flash your mind, was there one episode where we had an important message that just stuck with you, that was good radio that day, that we that needed to get out?
I can't pick one. I love them all. I think every message is important, and basically just for parents to know that we're here. This isn't a journey that they travel alone. The saying, it takes a village, is absolutely true, and we're here to support them. And all of our programs are sponsored by the Division of Early Learning, which means we serve families that have children from birth all the way through age 13 with different programs that can support them.
What I love, though, is even though you have it from birth through 13, you also have partnerships with other departments and programs that take it past 13 all the way into adulthood. And you still, even though yours ends at 13, you know that there's life after 13, and you partner with people so that there's a transition that's a good flow in the transition. And I think that's very important in education, is to keep that constant flow, and you don't realize there's a transition. And some of the partnerships y'all have bridge that transition gap, so kids don't know and families don't know that there's a transition. They just think it's the same thing continuing on.
We hope so, and those relationships are essential. And with all the things that we come together on, like we have the funding to help parents pay for childcare services so they can work. We have the VPK program to help 4-year-olds get ready to go to kindergarten successfully. We have Help Me Grow to help them determine if their child is on target developmentally. And then we have another pillar that supports the parents through Success by Six.
Yeah, so with the Success by Six program, there are several programs underneath the Success by Six program, and one is our parent education program, and that's parenting classes that we offer to the community, to parents, and everything is free. We even give them free childcare. They receive so much information on how to become a successful parent, how to prepare their children for school, and we even serve them. Well, we're getting back into it because we were doing virtual classes for a while, but now that
Doors are open.
Yeah, so now that
Doors
we're
are open.
opening, we're going to be meeting back in person. And we serve dinner to them as well, so we make it a whole awesome experience where the parents and the children are able to learn all together.
One of the greatest things y'all do is that class. Because I've said, you've heard me say it on this program, I've said it on other times in my program, Ocala Talks. We license fishermen, we license hunters, we license drivers, we got to get a marriage license, got to get a death certificate. There's all kinds of things you got to get. But the most important thing a man and woman will do in life is have children. And we say, you figure that out. There's no...
Since you said that, I have said that to so many people.
I mean, except for that stupid thing I did in the 11th grade high school where don't break the egg for 2 weeks.
I remember that.
That was the only parental training we had, and let's be honest, that was just dumb as hell. Okay, let's just be honest.
I remember repainting a second egg to look like
Of
the first
course,
egg after I cracked it.
right after you cracked it,
I'm
exactly.
like, so I learned how to get around it.
You learned how when DCF shows up, how to fool them. That's what you learned. But parenting skills are not something we're all born with.
Yes.
It just like anything else, it's a learned behavior because none of us come out of the chute going, we're good parents already.
Yes.
We learned. I knew that I would be a bad parent because my mother, God rest her, was a bad parent. She was an abusive parent. She was a paranoid schizophrenic, and so I knew I'd be a bad parent. So I made a decision early in life not to have children.
Okay.
I may have changed that decision if there had been a chance for me to take classes to unlearn some of the behaviors, because I'm the guy that literally, and I know this, and I'm not, so don't say this to be funny. I literally, an 18 or 20-month-old screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning, in my 20s, I went and shook it till it shut up. And so I don't need to be a parent because that's when my mom, when you would cry or anything, she'd come in and just slap you till you shut up.
Okay.
And so that was my parenting model.
Okay. I got what you're saying.
And sometimes parenting models are not good. So the fact that through Success by Six, you offer parenting models and classes, that to me is a very, very important thing.
And it is very, very, very rewarding. I've been doing this for like the last 5 years, and we served hundreds of parents and families, and just teaching them about the different parenting styles and how those styles affect your children, so they've been able to learn what styles not to have, because some are not good for the children. So those are one of the main things that we do help them to understand, and it's been very beneficial to them. And the curriculum is parents as teachers.
Yes.
So it's letting them know that you are your child's first teacher. Yes.
You're their first teacher and longest teacher.
Exactly.
Teachers change every year.
Exactly.
Your parents are yours forever.
Exactly.
They're your longest teacher.
Our
And
curriculum spans so much too, from basic needs, because oftentimes we find parents don't even understand what they need and like how much our diapers, and we provide a program called Infant Basic Needs where we will give a family that has an infant a baby bag with some essentials like bottles and gas drops, so that you're not shaking your baby, you're
Right.
giving them help to move through these things that happen to infants. Safe sleep, we have a program for that.
Which is also under Success by Six. And with that program, we offer to parents who are co-sleeping, we will give them a free, and now I'll say it's a playpen.
Right.
That they get to sleep in. And so I get so many calls from parents that are needing it, or the DCF workers are calling and they're saying, hey, I need to get this so that the child can remain in the home.
And what they mean by co-sleep is a lot of parents will take their infants and because the infants are crying, they go get them out of the crib, put them in the bed with them, and then through no ill will or anything, during sleep will roll over on that infant and suffocate.
Yes.
And it happens, people that happens all the time. And this is a program that allows the baby to be with their parents so they can hear, smell, and know their parent is right near to them, but in a safe environment where the child doesn't get rolled over on and suffocate.
Yep.
That's a great program as well. Talk about some of the programs. You talk about giving books away and everything. Talk about some of the programs, though, that you do that partner with the schools to make sure reading is still the forefront.
Well, we partner with the schools through our Reading is Fundamental program as well, and that's where we go out and engage with the principals and the media specialists and arrange to come out and bring these books and distribute them to the families. Other ways that families can engage, we're actually partnering with Ocala Parks and Recreation. In fact, today it's called Reading with Rangers, and it's taking place throughout Marion County at the different parks. That starts at 11 o'clock, and it's where the Rangers are reading with the kids. And then through the partnership of the Early Learning Coalition, we're able to distribute books, again, to those kids. So over the summer, just engage with your child with reading. That is so important and so essential to keep them on task for when the school year starts back up. So you avoid what's called the summer slide, and that's where they lose learning gains through the summer.
And if you need good ideas for your kids, if your kids are between the ages of 9 and about 13, Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, you can never go wrong. If your kids are between the ages of 7 and 10, Donald Sobel's Encyclopedia Brown, you can never go wrong. And if your kids are between the age of birth and 50, Charlotte's Web, you can never go wrong.
And you know what, Tom? They can also go to readaloud.org, and there's a list of reading tips and books as well. So if you don't know what book is a good book for your child for that age range, go on that website. It's readaloud.org, and gives them a host of different references for books.
By the way, I think I just gave everybody in the listening area a snapshot of what my favorite books growing up were.
Charlotte's Web is your favorite.
Charlotte's Web is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I got a passion for mysteries at a very young age reading Encyclopedia Brown. And now my favorite writer is Sue Grafton, and she does all the alphabet novels. A is for alibi, B is for burglar, those. She passed away before she got to Z, though. That aggravates me. But anyway.
Maybe somebody will pick up where she left off.
I'm not that talented. I speak word. I don't write word. What are some of the things that you think coming on this radio program has been a benefit to the Early Learning Coalition over the 12 weeks?
I think just being able to share all of the things that we do without being rushed through it. That was one of the things when we first came on. I was like, I have time to talk about this. I don't have to rush through.
You don't have to hit just the highlight bullet points.
Right. Yeah, and it gave us the opportunity to really dive into some of the things that we do in a deeper level. There are so many things that we do, and like I have a bullet point list here in front of me that say make sure you talk about our child care resource and referral where we can help parents. Maybe they don't need any other help except they're new to the area, which we have a lot.
That's a huge deal. 150 people a week or a month. It's one of those. CEP throws that number out. A lot of people are moving to Marion County every week.
Yeah, and if they're coming in and they're a new family, which we have housing units popping up everywhere, and they're just like, I have no idea where to start with childcare.
Yeah, you see it on Facebook. Here's the worst thing you can do, and that's why what you guys do. People go, we're moving to Ocala in the next 2 months, and we're wondering what area to live in and what schools are best, and does anybody have an early childhood care facility they recommend? And they're looking for the Facebook experts.
Yeah.
When the Early Learning Coalition is not a Facebook expert, you're an actual expert.
And we watch Facebook too. So Ocala Moms, we watch that group, and we watch a lot of the groups on there. And we just hope that people will give objective opinions, and if they actually need some actual resources, that word of mouth is great, and we do encourage word of mouth because people travel in the same circles typically. But we do also encourage you, visit, do an interview, use your senses when you're trying to find a child care provider that's quality for your family, because everybody's needs are different.
What I love is that you guys not only recommend child care providers, but you have partnerships with so many that you can recommend child care providers for mom and dads that may work in the mornings, mom and dads that may work in the afternoons. There's different times, because not everybody's schedule is a 9 to 5.
Right.
And you need child care. If you're at work and you need child care, if you're not a 9 to 5 worker, there's still child care out there for you, but the resources to find them are limited, and that's a gap. That's another gap you guys fill in.
Right, and we don't want to necessarily recommend, because
No, you don't recommend, you just give it, right.
But we definitely want to help you make an informed decision
Right.
about child care services and all the other things that are available. And we do have those partnerships that are really, really important for anybody, to support anybody. It doesn't matter what your income is. We're here. We're here, and you can reach us at 352-369-2315. Or you can visit us on the website at www.elc-marion.org.
And the income base is a big deal, because a lot of people say, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't have the money. If I go, they say they got child care, they say they got child restraint seats for the car, but am I going to have to pay for them? And if you're a family that is looking for information, Early Learning Coalition. If you're a family that can't make ends meet and you need help with child seats or beds so that the baby doesn't have to sleep in bed, the Early Learning Coalition. It's for everybody. It's not for the socioeconomically challenged. It's for everybody, but the socio and economically challenged really can benefit from Early Learning Coalition.
And there's no cost to any of the services.
None.
None.
These ladies work for free. They don't even get a check.
No cost, yeah.
Tell people, if they've been listening and they really like what they've heard, tell people, because I know you're a nonprofit, so if people want to help out, how can they help out and assist you guys?
They can go to our website, www.elc-marion.org. They can find us on Facebook. And, of course, you can donate anytime, and it can be anonymous. Or if there's a specific thing that we talked about that you're like, I really want to get behind that. We're always taking donations, even books.
Yeah, if you're cleaning out your closet, you got your garage sale. You always go to garage sales. You see somebody will put 60 books out there, quarter a piece, 10 cents a piece. Instead of doing that, take the 60 books to the Early Learning Coalition. Donate them to the Early Learning Coalition. You'll help children. You'll help parents. And you're only going to make, in that 60 books you put out in the garage sale, somebody may buy 3 of them.
Right.
You're only going to lose about 75 cents by donating a whole lot, and you clear out the junk in your garage.
Yeah.
That's it. And car seats. If you want to go buy a brand new car seat, don't bring some beat up one with one of the straps cut and cigarette burns in the plastic. We don't want to bring it in the packaging, still in the new packaging. They will accept those donations as well. They'll accept playpen donations that are still in the packaging and diapers still in. Yeah. Don't bring a diaper bag you found on the side of the road and drop it off. Don't do that. Don't do that. 2 bottles of spoiled milk in it. Don't do that.
We've seen that.
Well,
But some people are more comfortable donating material
Right.
than cash. So diapers, if you're at the grocery store and you want to grab a packet of diapers or wipes, we're very happy to do that.
my fiance and I, we help with Brothers Keepers, because it's at our church, Blessed Trinity. And one of the things they said one time was they needed baby items and everything. She goes in, she buys like 4 boxes of diapers, formula. She can give it up.
Sam's great for that.
But the beautiful thing is, those are what people need.
Yeah.
And diapers. Last time I checked, and diapers, they're not plywood expensive, but they're not real cheap either.
No.
And it's one of the most. It's a staple of an early child is diapers. You need and the pull-ups. The pull-up pants and everything like all of that can help. So you don't just have to you don't have to come in and write a check for $250. Although, if you want to, they will take your check for $250.
It is tax deductible.
Yeah. But there's a lot of ways to help. Well, thanks, ladies, for coming in. Thanks for being here. And if we can get a sponsor, we'll have you back.
Yes, and we'll bring you another gold star.
There you go. We'll be right back after this timeout. Susan Kieran from Just Ship joins us right here on WOCA The Source.
It's time for
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's